Well, I'm pretty fucking pissed. Octopath Traveler ended up being something that I hyped for quite a while and ended up being a failing video game for me. I'm completely stunned. I can't even believe this happened. So let's quickly go over a few of the reasons why my face looks like that as of late. Bam. Let's start off with the graphics in general. Now the game looks kind of nice when you think about the sprites and everything, but this game has an absolute fucking obsession with fogging everything out that you see. I will describe this here using the pen tool. So I'm just standing here in town, and most of the backgrounds in this game are completely fucking fogged out. What is the point of even having a beautiful, beautiful scenery in all the areas of the game and then just fogging them out so that we can't see? It's even affected by like rays and whatnot when you're kind of walking around in town. Even the foreground of the damn game, as you can see here by this weird circle, is just all fogged out. Basically what I'm saying is you're meant to kind of focus your attention in the very middle, as seen here. And that's about it. You can only see your main path, pardon the pun there, and that it's because that's all they want you to see. So allow me to go to a different zone and show you how trying to navigate the world with these graphics actually affect your ability to like see and just have fun in a better manner. So hopefully I don't get too many random battles on the way. I'll be running away from them if needed. So I'm gonna walk down to one of these other like zones, and right off the bat, the fucking sand like has way too much glittering effect. But at the same time, the glittering is also fogged out. Like, what is the point of doing that? I just don't get that. So as you're playing, a lot of times things are all fogged and zoomed out that you can't even tell what is actually a path. So you have to like kind of make sure to explore and zoom things in by being near it. It's like being heavily limited in these tight hallway paths of the game. So I'm kind of headed to what I think was a cave or something in this area. And like right off the bat we have a rock in front of the screen, but I actually never knew, because I was walking up that way, I never knew once that there was a chest there. Because the chest, as you noticed when I was way up here, it was just completely and way too fogged out of zoom, except everywhere that is in front of your characters. That's all you can really see. So it's just a giant downfall. And here's the chest that I missed now that I'm done with beating someone's storyline in this game. Moving on to a different aspect of why I don't like this game is the storylines are completely fragmented, disconnected, and they have nothing to do with each other. The 8 characters are not featured within the storyline of any other character at all, which means they can't really talk or speak or affect the storyline. But that's kind of part of why these open world games are unacceptable, is because like if you're allowed to just choose, as you can see, choose who to start with by clicking on someone's character here and going into their town, if you can choose who's chapter 1 to start with, then there's no way that anyone else can be part of anyone else's storyline, thus making it the worst fucking storyline I've ever seen in the game. It feels like just side stories only. Side stories, the video game, is all this stuff is. So, it's not even to mention as well the fact that all 8 of the storylines are really, really, really lame. Like, they're okay in the context of if they were side stories, then it would be okay to put up with, but that's all the game is these very cheesy, preachy side stories. There's no final boss, there's no centralized point to the game, no reason to play the game or really do anything in the world other than the one main thing that matters for that character and their class. So I think I will move on to one of the points that has to do with leveling up as well. As you can see, if I'm done with Chapter 4, the final chapter of just one person, it means that I'm leveled up enough to do, as you can see, do the Chapter 1s, 2s, and 3s for everyone else. But the bad news is, these open world games are failures unto themselves. The very concept of the open world game fails as a concept from the ground up. Because now, when I go back to do the chapter 1s and 2s and 3s of everyone, I'm going to be way too over-leveled, and it's not going to feel like a progressive challenge at all. I would just be doing it to read the awful storyline and how boring it is. And not even to mention, chapter 4 is always the final chapter for a character. Basically, by the time I get to the rest of the chapter 4s, I'm going to be way, way, way too leveled as well anyway. And I guess to my final point as to why the game sucks, other than, reviewing all the aspects, traversing the world, the linear type paths, especially the fogging effects, the zoom out effects and whatnot. I don't really have a complaint with the gameplay, other than obviously that level situation. The last thing, of course, that this game features is the path action system, to which you have like 6 or 8 different things to choose from. But if you go to scrutinize, let's say for this person, for the heck of it, as you can see, it says on the bottom, information gleaned none. It was pretty much useless. I can literally do scrutinize to every person in the game thousands of times. I can do that, but a very, very little amount of the time it's actually going to be worthwhile. But it even gets worse than that. So I have to go find the pub to be able to trade out for my thief character, to be able to go to a path action called Steal. So I'll just go to purchase for now. I would have been able to steal that healing grape. Every single time you're playing in the game, you have to go switch out characters to the ones that do their path action. Then come back out and then check the rest of them that you haven't checked. So it's a lot of going to the pub to have to do that, but why bother when most of it's kind of crappy, when you should really just keep the thief in your party, which I actually didn't do because I didn't realize I should have started with him. When he's leveled up enough, his percentage to steal things goes up, like for example stealing this plum here, and it's just too much busy work, the thief being the best, but especially with the one-on-one battles, because you can go to provoke and do a one-on-one with these people. I would say 99% of the one-on-one battles are pointless. You really just want to do it if someone's blocking an important door to go inside of a house that might have a chest in it, and that's about it. So I don't know, I mean, like, God, this game just ended up just barely being 5.75 for me out of 10. Just like in school, that is a failing score. I really don't know what else to say about it. When you think about it, it's kind of like 8 10-hour side journeys for all 8 of the people, which totals 80 hours, and that's fine. But if each side journey is about a 5 out of 10 score, then you don't add up the 5s times 8. You don't add the 5s up. You just keep it at the 5 on average. The average of the game, no matter what storyline you're doing, is just simply around the 5 range. It's nowhere near the 9 out of 10 that the media seems to be giving it. I think there's a lot of hype over these graphics and the fact that they look kind of cool, besides when they affect you when you're trying to look for things. There's just too much hype over the gimmicky things, and that's really all how the media judges shit anyway. But other than that, I think I've covered all the main areas. Just not good enough. If video games become like this, if RPGs become like this, I'm fucking done. I am fucking done with this shit. If RPGs become fragmented and disconnected where no one has anything to do with each other, then I'm done. There's no point in playing. I'll go back to 80s, 90s, and Zeros RPGs and play those. There's plenty more to do, on those kinds of games. But, as I said, I guess I'll leave this with an okay note, and the fact that the battle system and the jobs are fine. Each job seems to have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 abilities, and obviously plus the secondary job that you can get as well. Being inside of the battle system is cool, but it's just too bad that the game ruins it by the fact that you're going to be too high leveled when you go back and loop again and do the chapter 1s, 2s, and 3s, and 4s of everyone else as well. I'll see you guys for next stream.